Hi, and welcome to your first video review session with No Bones About It Puppy Day School. I am here with Zevon, and I'm just going to cover a couple of the things that we work on in the first few weeks. We refer to them as foundation skills. These are really the things that build all of the most important behaviors that you're going to want to teach your puppy down the road, such as come when called, love to be captured. So when the puppy's around you, you can grab them and they willingly walk towards you. Walk nicely on your leash, and most importantly, when I say your name, stop what you're doing and give me attention. No matter what is happening in your life, that's the most important thing that we need from our dog. Be able to ignore distractions and find out what I need. So all of our foundation skills are really centered around those goals. So the first one that we teach is called name game. And it's not necessarily about teaching your puppy their name. It's about teaching your puppy that when you hear that word, you stop and you turn immediately and give me eye contact and find out what I need. It's a stop, look, and listen cue. And if you really think about it, the number of times your puppy hears their name during the day where there's something of great value associated with it is not a lot. We tend to use our puppy's name, Zevon, no, Zevon, stop, Zevon, don't do that. We tend to have a lot of things where we're asking for the dog's attention and then giving them some sort of message that maybe they're not all that thrilled about. So what we want to do is we want to build value. You're going to hear me use that phrase all the time. We're going to build value for a certain behavior so that your dog loves it. So name game is simply you say your dog's name. When they turn their head and they are looking in your direction, we mark that behavior. What does that mean? Marking means we are saying the word yes. It marks the exact moment that the dog does the right thing. So we use a marker word, that word yes, for everything that we practice with our puppy. So over here. So if we were working on sit, for instance, I would say sit, yes. So the minute that puppy's butt hits the ground, the word yes comes out of my mouth. It tells that puppy that's exactly what I was looking for, and then our treat follows at a more leisurely pace. Okay, so dog's name, when we get that head turn or eye contact, we mark the behavior by saying yes, and then they get their cookie. Okay, so one of the easiest ways to practice this is just to get the dog to turn away from us and I'm sitting because my mobility is a little bit funky right now, so I'm just going to toss a treat away from me, and then, Zevon, yes, good job. So, one of the other puppies decided they thought they should be playing this game with me. So again, all I'm going to do is make this super easy in the beginning. Toss a treat away from me. Wait till he finishes it. Zevon! Yes! Good job! Be really cognizant. We keep our treats, even though they might be in my hands, they are never out in front of my body. They are either behind my back or hidden in a pocket. They're at the ready, but they are never visual to the dog. That becomes super distracting. As you can see, it's the only thing the dog will focus on. So I want to make sure those treats are not visible to my puppy when we're practicing. So I'm going to do a go find it. And then, Zevon, yes, good job. I also want to be really careful that I don't wait or ask for other behaviors right now. A lot of people, because they've been working on sit a lot, they tend to want to do this. The puppy walks over, gives them eye contact, and then they ask for sit or they wait for the sit, and then they reward the puppy. But then what really that becomes is a reward for the sit, not for the recognition of the name. So that's important. We're only marking a behavior for recognition of the name and or eye contact. The last part of this is you have to be really careful not to repeat the puppy's name. So if you do not get recognition the first time you say that puppy's name, you're not going to do this. Zevon, Zevon, Zevon. Oh, yes, good job. You're not going to repeat that puppy's name. You're going to stop and you're going to figure out really quickly, make a determination. Why didn't that puppy respond to me? Is the distraction level too high? Are they too tired? What can I change so that the next time I try it, I'm going to be successful? The goal is that you teach your puppy name one time, eye contact, and that's what they get rewarded for. All right, second thing we're working on is called the gotcha game. You don't really need to say any words for this, but it teaches your puppy that when I reach out and grab a hold of their collar and eventually put a little pressure to pull them towards me, they should love that game. So I start out by just doing this. Hi! Just gently touch the collar and give a cookie. Touch the collar, deliver a treat. Okay? So it's not at the same time. It doesn't look like this where I'm reaching out with both hands. It is very, very distinguished two parts. Reach out. The result of grabbing the collar is that you get your treat. Okay? Now I'm making this really not intimidating at all. I'm not standing up right now. I'm just grabbing that. Maybe doing a little jiggle. If the dog were to pull away from me, I would stop and I would just do collar touch and then reward. Okay, we want the dog again to love this. If you want to do a little gotcha, you can. But you don't have to. It's more the act of reaching out and holding onto that collar. The dog feels it. They get to the point where they're going to move towards you because they know it's going to be rewarding. So I'm going to stand up and show you what that looks like. All right, so it's a little more intimidating when I'm standing up. Gotcha. Yes. Gotcha. Yes. Now, I'm going to put a little bit of pressure on this collar and see what happens. Gotcha. Okay, you see how the puppy really resists that and they pull back? That's called oppositional reflex. Almost every puppy has it, and that's what we're trying to counter condition. So instead of that pressure, meaning your dog wants to pull away, we want to work on this enough that when they feel that pressure, they want to voluntarily move towards you. This becomes really important down the road for puppies that say get nervous around stuff and tend to want to bolt. I want to be able to reach out really quickly and grab them. It becomes really important for puppies that decide coming close to you but not actually coming in all the way and then maybe running away or playing a little game where they're just a couple just out of reach. We want to avoid that from the get-go. So that's why we practice the collar grab, the gotcha game, okay? And lastly, we're working on something called hand targeting, which is also referred to as touch. I'm going to show you a little bit how that works. All we're asking the dog to do is take their nose and bump with their nose the palm of my open hand, okay? So it's going to look like this. Touch. Yes. And then I'm going to reward with that treat right in front of my target hand. Touch. Yes. Good job. Okay, again, treats remain behind. You can see I keep those treats behind my back. Touch. Yes. And then I come and I reward right in front of my target hand. Touch. Yes. Good. Now, if your puppy is sitting when you practice this, it usually is more difficult because they kind of want to remain in a sit because that's been a place where they get rewarded pretty frequently. So standing is a better position. If I need to stand up, I can stand up. But again, we want to make this really easy in the beginning. We're putting our hand out right at their nose level and out to the side a little bit. You're not moving your hand towards the dog. You're asking the dog to move towards your hand. Touch. Okay, so I'm not sure if if Zevon was in sight right there, but he was sitting and he didn't want to move from the sit, just like I mentioned earlier. So come here, touch. Yes, good. I didn't have a cookie that time. I ran out, but that was very good. I can tell you what a good puppy you are. So I will get into the next couple weeks why we use hand targeting. It's such a great tool. We can use it when we're out and about to redirect our puppy's focus. We can use it in the house. Let's say they start chewing on something and we don't want them to do that. We could call them away by asking them to do the touch game. If they're distracted by something that makes them nervous when they're really good, I can, instead of saying, no, don't bark at that, I could ask them to start doing some touch game, and usually that will redirect their focus. So more about that later, but the things that you're going to be focused on this week, which are also in your handbook, are name game, the collar grab or the gotcha game, and the hand target or touch. So those are your focus items for this week, and we will see you guys next time. Zevon had a great first week. We're super proud of him.